A lot of people have no idea that Haile Selassie did not approve the Kebra Negus as being factual, for it is simply folklore, similar to the story of Nabuchodonosor happening 2,600 years ago. Because if you read the original tongues, because all Bibles are translated out of the Ethiopian original tongues written in Ge'ez. That's why Ethiopian Bible is the oldest, most complete version on earth. And in it you will find that Nebuchadnezzar is here during the times of Revelation. So let's watch. In the book Country of the Blue Nile, included a 13-page appendix with a list of Ethiopian monarchs written by the king, who later became Emperor of Ethiopia. And his list begins in 4530 BC, which contradicts the Kebra Negus, because according to the Kebra Negus, the Ethiopian kingdom started 3,000 years ago. So other traditions say that the Ethiopian kingdom started approximately 6,487 years ago. But Haile Selassie himself said it started since 4530 BCE, so almost 6,500 years ago. So how could Selassie agree with the Kebra Negus when he himself wrote that the kingdom started 6,500 years ago? All right, let's get to Nebuchadnezzar. Who is he? His body was wet with dew, with the dew of heaven, until his hairs grew like feathers of eagles and his nails like bird's claws. So he's like unhuman. He's like the devil himself. So the Babylonians suffered a decisive defeat near the Euphrates, also known as Ethiopia. So according to them, Nebuchadnezzar was found in 1927. So they found the ruins of his tomb, and during excavations, they found him in 1927. Yeah, right. Because according to Wikipedia, it says, the grave of Nebuchadnezzar was desecrated, with the perpetrators going so far as dragging his body through the streets of Uruk. And this happened when? According to them, 2,600 years ago. So how could someone find body parts in 1927? See, that makes no sense, because they're just making up the story. Similar to the graves of Daniel. Daniel's supposed to be here during the times of Revelation. So according to them, his tomb is in Iran. Then it's in Iraq. Then it's in Uzbekistan. In other words, they just made up the story of his death. Why? Because they don't want him to be alive, because he prophesied against them during the times of Revelation. So he's supposed to be here now. He was never here thousands of years ago dying. So be careful where you get your information from. Let's watch.
Have you ever seen the Pope's throne?
No.
On this?
Are there little words? Oh, that's insane.
Look how demonic
is
it looks.
What is that thing? That's supposed to be like an angel? Is that like the face of the devil?
The Catholic Pope's throne is weird.
You know, when I was traveling to Europe, I saw a lot of older Catholic churches. They all had demonic figures or something.
Yeah.
I don't know why he has a bulletproof car. It's crashing me out. They're like, what's he worried about?
Because he's acting like he's down with God, when in fact he's down with Satan. They literally worship Baal.
Biggest sign that the church has been infiltrated, the church submitted to the agenda of the beast in 2020. Submitted. All church leaders agreed. All church leaders supported. All church leaders pushed for this agenda. Come, gap yourself and show an act of love for your neighbor. This is from hierarchies, leaders of great influences in the church. The shepherd has spoken. It is like Christ is speaking. Poor flock, poor sheep, they don't know any better. They believe and trust in this leader so much. They said, well, he knows what he's talking about, the Pope, the Patriarch, the Cardinal, the Bishop. They know what they're talking about.
How do they know if they themselves worship Baal? So they want you to get the mark of the beast. Pay attention.
The word logos. Come on, brothers, you guys pay attention, right? In Matthew 5:37, logos means, but let your statement be yes, yes. Your logos.
That's God.
That doesn't mean you're God. Okay? In Matthew 28:15, it says, and the story was widely spread, logos.
It's the same word.
Same word, exactly. And then in Mark 4:15, it says, where the logos is shown. It's not Jesus.
The word.
The word, exactly. Right? Now this is very important. Luke 4:32. And his teachings, for his logos was his authority. What does it mean?
His message.
His message.
So where did it come from?
From God. It's the message of God, but it is not God.
But it is referring to Jesus. This is the New Testament.
Jesus spread it. Not him.
Who's
Okay?
spreading? But
Okay.
that was Jesus.
Okay. Word of Isaiah. So what is the word of Isaiah? The logos of Isaiah. Is that Jesus?
So as a Christian, I believe in John 1:1 there.
As a Christian, do you believe in John?
Of course I do.
Okay. So John says, this is in John 12:38, so that the word of Isaiah, the logos of Isaiah, is that Jesus of Isaiah?
Hello, wake up. Stop following the Catholic Church. They're just making up stories to make you diss God. And they took these big books out of their KJV version. So let's read. First books of Esdras. It's about the times of Revelation. So during the times of Revelation, you will find the Ark of the Lord in the house that King Solomon, the son of David, had built. Why? Because Solomon is supposed to be here during Revelation. And the dynasty is supposed to be left for him. That's why it's called the Solomonic dynasty. And it will be given to him by his father David, the king of Israel. And if you know, Haile Selassie title is the king of all kings. Hence he's the king. And his name is Root of David. Therefore, he comes before Solomon. He's also here in the time of the Levites. For they themselves are the sons of Aaron. Why? Because Aaron is just another name for Levi. So if Aaron is here, that means Moses is here. So let's watch who else is here during the end times and what's going to happen. So you'll find the kings of Israel and the ones of Judea. And then the king of Egypt also made King Joachim, his brother, king of Judea and Jerusalem. So Joachim did evil before the Lord. Wherefore Nebuchodonosor, you see the name Nebuchodonosor, he's supposed to be here at the end of times. And Joachim, his son, was made king in Jerusalem and did evil. Then Nebuchadnezzar sent Zedekiah to be king of Judea and Jerusalem. And he did evil also in the sight of the Lord. And what did he do? He was carried on to Babylon, and who became servants to the Persians. In other words, Jerusalem, during the time of Zedekiah, are going to be beaten by the Persians. And that's exactly the talk that's happening right now of Iran invading that part. So who is Zedekiah? Zedekiah is the final king of Judah before the destruction of Jerusalem. His birth name is Mattaniyahu. Doesn't that sound familiar to the prime minister of the place they call Israel, which is in Jerusalem? So you see Netanyahu. Sounds very familiar to Mattaniyahu. So let's continue in the books that were omitted out of the Bible. So in the second book of Esdras, which is about these times, you will find Esdras. So Esdras is the son of Sarias, Azarias, Helkias, Sadomias, Sadok, Achias, Phineas. He's the son of Heli. In these times they have a king of all kings of Ethiopia by the name of Haile Selassie. And he is the father of Joseph.
Christian Ethiopia. He created a strong, centralized monarchy. The country, with its 22 million people, revolves
Currently is 122 million people in Ethiopia.
around his personal rule. You are descended, Your Imperial Majesty, from King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba.
Notice the reporter is telling him that he's a descendant of Solomon and Sheba. Remember, he wrote a 13-page saying that the dynasty started since 4500 BCE. Hello. So the story of him being a descendant of Solomon and Sheba is just a story. Why? Because as we just read, Solomon is supposed to be here during the times of Revelation, and the dynasty is supposed to be left to him. That's why it's called a Solomonic dynasty. And if you look up, you will see there's no evidence of Solomon within any graves, or even evidence of him being here thousands of years ago. Similar to Moses, there's no evidence. Why? Because Solomon is Moses, is Esdras. You see, it's just the story of Solomon meeting Sheba, but it's not factual. So be careful where you get your information from. For example,
it's funny how they left Israel brown and came back white. These white Europeans, these freckled, red-haired, blonde-haired, blue-eyed people from Poland and Germany and Hungary, oh, they're the chosen. No. Jesus didn't recognize them in John 8. He said, Abraham's not your father. Oh, they're the chosen people. We ran into one of the chosen ones out soul-winning today. It's funny how she didn't even want to hear Romans 3:23. She wouldn't even listen to one verse. She was just quick to get us out of there. Just no interest. Of course Israel will always be a people of God. Except for the fact that that fake nation over in the Middle East is not Israel. Like, what if we just change the name of Tempe to Israel? Would that make it Israel? Say, well, but it's that land. It's all about the land. Really?
really, we know who Israel is. Israel is one of God's many names. You are standing in the house of Jehovah. Praise Jah, for Jehovah is God. Make melody to his name, for it is pleasant. For Jah has chosen even Jacob for himself, Israel for his special property. In other words, Israel is God himself. And it's written in Amos 9:7 that the children of Israel are the children of the Ethiopians. Why? Because God represents Ethiopia. And Ethiopia is just another name for Zion. And if you don't know, there you go.
He led the troops that killed Empress Zoditu's husband, who was not of royal blood, and became regent. He became emperor on November 2nd, 1930, and was crowned Haile Selassie I, King of Kings, King of Zion, conquering lion of the seed of Judah, power of the Trinity.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Why? Because God has many names. So he's the power of the Trinity. He himself is God in these times. He also goes by the name of Haile. And Haile is the father of Esdras. So let's watch. Esdras is the son of Haile. And Esdras is around the same time the son of Aaron, of Levi. In other words, Levi is Aaron, and he's with Moses. He's the brother of Moses. And Moses is just another name for Esdras. And how we know that? Because Esdras, the priest, being the law of Moses that was given of the Lord of Israel. And he's here also with Jesus. So Jesus and Moses are together the same time that the sons of Aaron are around. The same time that God himself is around. So God goes by these names: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Osius, Amos, Michias, Joel, Abdias, Jonas, Nahum, Habakkuk, Sophonias, Aggeus, Zechariah, Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord. Why? Because God has the highest title of the angel. Israel is literally the seraph. Follow God, not man. Part 2 coming up.